Hello, in this video I'm just going to do a little bit of quilling. Now the quilling set that I'm using is a digital download collection from the Crafty Witches. I have one here that I have already made. Now in the collection you do get your quilling strips that you can print off, and also it comes with this box card here that you can add your design to, and also box envelopes too. Now to start off with, this is actually the image that I've printed off that has guidelines on it. You do get designs too without the guidelines if that's what you prefer. Now I have my quilling tool and I'm just going to use my own quilling papers. So I'll just do a couple of little bits up that you might want to use on your card, on the design here. So first of all, you add your quilling strip in between the two prongs on your quilling tool, and then you start turning it around so it forms into a coil. Now you have to try and keep this on top of each other so that your card doesn't spread down your tool. You just need to take your time, as going too fast does make the paper move. Now the first one that I'm doing here is going to be a tight coil. You could use this as a centre of the flowers on these designs. So I'm just going to add some glue to the end. And that makes up the tight coil. Now to make a loose coil, exactly the same as before. Okay, and then this time to make a loose coil, just going to let it go slightly, and just so it uncoils itself, and then just need to again just add a small amount of glue just so it keeps its shape. So the loose coil is basically what you use to make your different shapes for quilling. Now I made up a couple more here. Now one of the shapes you can make, all you need to do is just pinch either side and that makes it's like an eye, I guess, an eye shape. And then another design you can do is just hold the center, well, hold some of the bottom and the center of your coil, and then just pinch the top. And that makes like a raindrop shape. And then another little fancy one again, same as the first one, just pinch the two edges and then pinch them opposite away from each other, and that makes like a little wavy design. So just pop those so that's just 4 designs there that you can do with your coils. There are of course other ways. You can make squares and rectangles out of these coils, but there are plenty of YouTube videos online if you want different shapes too, but they're the main shape, well, the shape that we're going to use in this video. So I'm just going to bring this back in, I have done up quite a lot of my coils just to save time, but I've not shaped them at all. So as you can actually see, they do undo in different ways, so you end up with different sizes, but of course petals aren't all the same size anyway. So I'm just going to pinch either end together, and that's going to make up my petals. Now I'm just going to pinch all the ends together so far, because like I said, they are different sizes, so I just need to see where they fit best onto my design. Let's see what we have here. So that was quite a long one. So I'm just going to decide where I want them. Yeah, so I'm going to add those ones into there, and then I have this smaller one here. Of course, if you want to make smaller coils, all you need to do is just trim your paper. Yeah, that one I think is a little bit big, so I might do a new coil on that. Yeah, those two will turn out to be a little bit big. So I'm just going to make up 4 new coils. Now because these are slightly, and the petals are slightly smaller, I'm just going to trim that paper off. Okay, and then just, nope, I need 2 more. And fingers crossed that they are the right size. I mean, I am just doing basic quilling. Like I said, there'll be lots of people on YouTube that of course are very professional at doing this, so you'll be able to get loads more ideas on there too. So let's just see if these are now the right size. So like I said, I'm just pinching the two ends together. Yep, happy with that one. Okay, so they can fit in there. So what I'm just going to do, so you just need to, it's up to you whether you want to add the glue to your picture there, or to add it to just put dots of glue actually on sorry, just add dots of glue just onto the quilling there. And then I find it easier using tweezers just to get it in place. As you can see, I'm just well, I hope you can see I'm just dotting the glue around on my quilling petals. Okay, so now I've attached all of my pink petals. Now the next thing to do is there's a guideline here for a single petal. So all you need to do is get your quilling strip, add a small amount of glue, and then just carefully bend that over just to how you think, well, what size you think is needed for your other petals here. And then just to make it a little bit stronger, I then turn it over and go round again. And then cut off any extra card there. So I don't know if you can see that, it is literally just a loop. And then these are just going to be attached just on the guidelines in between those petals. So like I said, just a small amount of glue, fold it over to where you think it should be. I mean, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. I mean, crafting all is individual work anyway. So I've looped it over a second time. And that one's going to pop into there. Now the other two are slightly larger, or slightly longer. like I said, just attach it and then just wrap the strip round again. Okay, this one doesn't want to behave. That one's going to go in there. That one, I think that strip's a little bit too small. Let me just grab another one. Yeah, this next one's quite long. So I'm just going to move that one over there. Yeah, I just need one more. And that one can pop into there. So just move those out of the way. So we need to carefully add small dots of glue. Just take some of that extra off, and that one's going to pop in there. Because it's so dainty, and because all you're using is the edge of the card, you just need to be careful how much glue is actually going on it. Okay, just didn't get that one quite in the right place. And then I think this is the last one here. There you go. I think, is that it? Oh no, looks like we have a single one there too. So I just need to make another one up. Carefully pop that one in place. Nope. Oops. There you go. Finally got that piece in. So there's the pink, my pink flowers. Now next we'll go and do this colour here. Like I said, I've got my coils here, and I have got a few of the loops done too, just to save time. So to make the petals then, just pinch either side of the coil. Again, I'm just going to do each one of these so I can decide which petal is going to go on. Like I said, when they open, the coils open up, depending on how tight you've pulled it as you're coiling it on the quilling tool, depends on how loose it's actually going to open up. I think that's what makes them all different sizes. Apologise for lack of talking. I really am just concentrating on these. Oh, got one there already made. And that one fits in there. And I need 2 loops. There's another one over there actually. So, like I said, I've got these already made up. Just need to decide whereabouts on the design they're going to go. I mean, if you use the images without the guidelines on, then of course it doesn't really matter where you put your quill in. So I'm going to add those to there. Okay, so that's my other colour flower done. Now I apologise for going off camera while I'm sticking this down. I just feel if you watch me sticking each petal down, it will make the video a bit too long. You might get bored of me. So back to which we'll go on to the next. So these small purple ones here are actually just loops, and I have actually made those up here just to save time, because they are very quite little and fiddly. So there's not many of these to add, so I might just quickly do them Oops. Like I said, these ones are smaller, so they are slightly fiddly. That one doesn't want to get in place. There you go, got it. So I keep sticking onto my tweezers there. So there are just a couple each on these purple cards. Sorry, purple flowers. Let's try that again. There we go, and then I'll just go and add the other ones on. Okay, so that's the small purple ones, or lilac ones done. And then the same again for green. So here are my coils. I'm just going to make my petals or leaves. Just pinching the two edges together. And then I have two of just the two loops. Okay, so there's one, and I will just add the other three. Okay, so there's my green leaves. Now the next one it's going to be a bit different because this little pink one here. Now I have made up some bits to attach here, but I'll just show you what I did. Let's find my so it is, you can roughly try and judge the length you want this to be, but what I intend to do, so you can see the directions of each of the coils. So this time you don't use all of your strip, so you just make a coil to how big you think you need it, and that's going to be attached there. And then I'm going to put a slight bend on there to do a coil on the other side. I'm just going to cut that down. Excuse the glue all over my hand. Just rolling that a little bit more with my fingers. Okay, and as you can see, it's like a V with the coils going in the opposite direction, and then that is just going to get attached to that flower there. So like I said, you just need to have a look and see which direction the coils are actually going around. So I'm just going to add these on. Some of the extra glue off. So I'm going to press my first coil down in place, and then my second, and then just carefully add the strip. Just going to move that around. There you go. So as you can see, that's just a different way to do some quilling. Now just add my next. Instead, I find it easier just to pop one side down first, and then you can get the other side in place. Just these ones here, you can just move around until you're happy. I'm only moving them around because of the guidelines, just to cover them up. Of course, if you use the ones that you don't have the guidelines for, then it really doesn't matter where you place them. There we go. I thought I had another one, but no. Right, now I need to make one up. Now, yeah, this time the coils are going opposite each other. So just a small coil, and then just bend that over to make the next coil. It doesn't matter how tight or how loose your coils are, it's just your own preference. Okay, just press those down, and then I just have one single coil left to make. And that one just adds in there. Okay, just need to bring that around there. Okay, so the next bit are just single coils. So we've got some green here, and then some like a cream beige colour there. So let me just see if I'm using, yeah, I think I'll use the same one. So this time, if you make your coil up, just like on the last flower, it's just a small coil like that, and then you can then decide whereabouts you want to trim that off. A little bit too much glue on there. So I'll press my coil down and then guide where the end's going to be. Okay, so I'll do one more of them. So again, just a single coil. Pop it down and then just trim off where you're going to attach it. So coil first and then just guide the tail around like that. Now this coil's sprung open a little bit more than what I'd like, but that's fine. Like I said, every time you do one of these, it's going to add what be different. It's just how tight you hold the coil as you're doing it. But I don't think the different sizes hurt on the design. So that's how you do the single coils. So I've got another one up there to do, and then a couple on the green leaves, and I shall be back shortly. Okay, so there's all my single coils done, and that is basically the image all complete now, especially with the guidelines. So I've just followed each guideline, I've done my coils, pinched each side together to make my petal shape, and then these are just then extra coils. These are double coils, and then these are just single coils just to add on to the edges there. And now, so the next bit we have to do is now creating our box frame for it. So now it's time for the box card. Now I've printed and cut out all my pieces, and also on these four here you'll also see some white dash lines, so you need to score each of those lines too. I've actually already done that. Now the next stage is to cut this out here. I'm just going to use my knife to do that. So just carefully follow the lines. There's no rush to do this, so just take your time. Okay, one more to do. And hopefully that just pops out. Okay, so that's the opening frame for the card. Now, next just need to add some red liner tape. I'm just going to add it to either side of the two edgings. Okay. And then I'm just going to add some red liner tape to this one. And then same just to the edging, the edge tab here. Okay, now I'm just going to pop those to one side. Now these two edgings go either side of the frame here, so just going to attach them. Just add a bit of glue just for extra security. Okay, and then add the other one on the other side. Okay, and then just burnish them down. I'm just going to fold the score line on the opposite side of the frame. And there you go, that's the start of a box frame. Just fold the other score lines down. Okay, now I'm just going to add some double-sided tape just to the two of the ends here. Now this is so I can add in the quill picture. Now you'll probably find an easier way of doing this for yourself, and this is just what I've been doing. Just add a little bit of glue for extra security. So the picture is facing upwards because when that turns over it of course goes that way. So I'm just going to attach this. And then turn that over and attach it to the other side here. Oops. I just need to press that down. There you go. And then that's the quad picture is now attached to the box card. You can do the same on the top and bottom if you like, but I think it's pretty secure how it is there. So now I'm just going to add, first of all I'm going to add this part here. Now this is the back of the card where it opens, so my plan is to pop that on the side and then attach the solid colour card. Will then fill in the top like that, or I mean if you want you can of course do it that way, and that you just have this white strip showing, that's all. So just make sure my card's the right way and it's going on the correct side. I'm going to say you don't really need the two strips here. I should have put one on that side there. But I'm just going to attach this. Oh, I was going to pop a bit of glue on for some added security on there. Now I'm just going to add some double red liner tape to that part. Actually, I am going to add some tape to here just to attach it together. Otherwise I am going to end up being all fingers and thumbs. So carefully line that up. And just press from the inside. Okay, and just do the same for this one. Make sure that's in place. Okay, and then it's just the solid colour left to go. Okay, and then you just have to get that just layered up. Just try and get it to the edges. A little bit over there. Okay, I'll start here first. It is hard trying to get it lined up while you're doing it on camera. I've got a bit of an overlap there, so I'm just going to trim that off. Like I said, it is very difficult trying to attach it on, because if you were doing it normally about the overhead camera, I'd be above it and taking my time to make sure it was all level. Okay, so there you go. So we've done some quilling and we've made the box frame to go with the quilling card. Now I also have some sentiments. I'm not quite sure what I've actually done with them. Let's have a look. No, I'll just bring this one back out. Yeah, so as you can see there's a sentiment on there, and there is some print on there where you can quill, and also on the frame there's some print there, so if you want to add extra quilling you can there too. So there's two cards that I've made with this quilling collection. So just to remind you, it is Quilling Magic, and this is a digital download collection from the Crafty Witches.